DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is time on a Football Friday to ask the question that we all care about. Don't we expect BYU and Utah to beat these two teams from Texas on Saturday?
I'd bet your life on it.
Yeah, thanks for that. I feel like I'd have a good chance of being here Monday, but I'm not real positive. Because while they ought to win, this isn't, we're not talking laughers here. These are teams firmly in the middle of the Big 12.
Okay, but Utah has played teams in this in the higher category and smoked them.
Yep, that's true.
Every time they win, it's a blowout. So I could see it. I can see them winning 31-10.
Have they blown out a good team on the road? All the blowouts I'm thinking of were at home. And West Virginia was a blowout, but that's a bad team.
It was bad at the time. They've gotten better.
I'll give you that, yeah.
But, I mean, that's their fault. That's not Utah's fault.
No, I get it. But this would be if they win in a blowout, this would be, here's a weird category, this would be their best blowout road win of the year.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just say it's the best blowout of the year because it's a pretty good team on the road.
I think Cincinnati is. I think they win comfortably. I see no reason not to go along those lines. My mindset is that they win comfortably.
They're going to run it. They're going to run it some more, and then they're going to run it some more after that, and there isn't much Baylor's going to do about it. Yeah,
that's not a big intriguing point for me.
It isn't.
I'm looking to see what Sawyer Robertson and that offense can do against the defense. You know, they took Sorsby and just locked him up. They didn't get an opportunity to play Levitt. And they did okay against BYU, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, they lost that game. Analytics apparently lost that game.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Fourth quarters, just talking because that analytics is more an issue of the offense and choosing to go with the offense instead of the special teams.
Yes.
Defensively, they gave up 24 to BYU, and 14 of those came in the fourth quarter of the game on the line. And they gave up 21 to Texas Tech in the fourth quarter when it had been a close game, and that 21 took it away. So, to your point, they've locked up most teams they've faced, and even the two games they lost, they were stellar for three quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, the other offense did enough. Even the 34 against Texas Tech in college football, that's not an outrageous number. Certainly not a good number for a defense, but when teams are averaging 28 to 30 points, 34 is not outrageous.
It is not. But I expect them to win comfortably.
So then, as you bet my life on this, the Utes being a 9.5-point favorite on the road at Baylor, that's at 5 o'clock, so I'm still alive at 8. But where my life might be at risk would be at 8:15 when BYU hosts TCU.
Well, this is a must-win, obviously. They can possibly get into the title game with 2 losses and things break their way, but there's no way they're getting in with 3. And then if they lose tomorrow, then you would make the assumption that they would lose in Cincinnati. Now you got to go to
Cincinnati, right?
And that's not a good setup for you. So, last year it was sort of not that they were fat and happy, but they overachieved expectation. And you can argue that they've overachieved expectation this year. But given the fact that they started 9-0 last year and then lose the last couple of 2 of the last 3 there, with Kansas and the Devils, left a little bit of a sour taste. And here, the guys like Chase Roberts, we're going to finish this. There's a lot of vowing going on that we've learned from that and all that stuff. And so, yeah, fine. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt until I see otherwise. The Texas Tech loss was not unsurprising. It was non-competitive, which I think was more surprising than not. So with that in mind here, this is a must bounce-back game. You can right the ship. The opportunity is there. I don't think you'll beat Tech the second time, but just get there and then surprise us all, and that'd be great. I would love to see it. I'd be the first one to say I was wrong on that. And things can change if there's injuries between now and then. But as we sit here this morning, you've got to win this game, and The idea is to get to the conference final. If you get to the conference final with only one loss, I don't even care if you got beat 80-0. If you go 11-1, that's a really good season. I mean, come on. There's no other way you can spin it. I mean, you can argue, well, Texas Tech, game days there, biggest home game they've had since that Texas game, was that 08, 09 or something. Mm-hmm. The crowd is going berserk and everything. Mahomes is in the stands. I mean, it's sort of things conspired against you, and they jumped on you, and you didn't play well. So maybe you can understand it to a degree.
Yeah, but 11-1's super rare. There's 136 college football teams, and right now there's 10 teams that have a chance to do that, and they won't all do it. So if you get there, you're one of a small handful of teams that pulls that off.
And you will have accomplished something that you didn't accomplish last year. So that's advancement. That's improvement. And you're doing it with a youngster who we figure will be back. You never know with the transfer thing, but the future in the immediacy would be extremely high for next year and all that stuff. And Texas Tech is losing a bunch of guys. They've got a great recruiting class, but they brought in a ton of guys that were one-and-dones this year, and the quarterback would be gone and all that stuff. So it would really look bright for next year being in the mix to be one of the favorites, if not the favorite for sure. We'll see how that plays out. But you got to get this thing. I'm getting way ahead of myself. You got to get this home game. You lost that home game to Kansas last year. That's what did you in, not going down to Tempe and losing to a team that was hot, who was on like a 7-game winning streak. That's no big deal.
The ASU game is comparable to the Tech game. So this game is like the Kansas game, and you can't have what happened against Kansas happen at home here.
And I don't care if it's a fluke hit kid on the helmet and whatever. You just can't be in that situation. You didn't score enough points, obviously, and you threw an interception there at the end of the first half. Fetching analytics. They just would have said, don't throw that lob in the end zone at the end of the first half. Maybe something good could have happened. But you got to get this game, and they all know this. There's nothing. And they're just, some of those coaches listen to us in the morning, but they know it full well. They know it burns 1,000 times brighter for them than it does for me. And so I suspect that they'll be fine. But I got to see it because I thought they would have beat Kansas. The ASU game was a toss-up, and you lost by, 4 points? Whoop-de-doo. That happens. There's going to be a winner and a loser. I was actually impressed the way they bounced back because they looked like they were on the verge of getting blown out, and they came back and literally made it as tight as you could possibly be. So that was impressive to get off the mat like they did and make that game big-time tough. So now, with all that said and the experience of that, they know it. They gotta get it. They have to get it. I think they will. I hope they will, but they must. This is a cool November game, literally and figuratively. See what I did with that?
I did. Just letting you savor that for a second there. I knew you were enjoying that.
Well, sometimes though, in full transparency, I get sidetracked when I wallow in my greatness for too long. Sometimes I just need to hit it, and then okay, that happened. Now I'm taking one great comment at a time.
You just put that 5-iron 10 feet from the pin, but you got to put it behind you because you got a 10-footer to make for birdie.
Right.
Okay.
One great moment at a time. That was a great moment, but it's almost like it's 40 seconds behind us now. You got to move on to the next one.
Don't we all expect BYU and Utah to beat those two teams from Texas on Saturday? Caleb, best QB they faced on the road. Caleb's seen a combination of things that could bring the Utes down. Meanwhile, Christy, Utah, yes. BYU could struggle. TCU can be tough.
Christy says that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably agree with Christy on what she's saying there. I assume that's a female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. That's logical. Yeah, if I had to pick one of the two, guaranteed, I'd go Utah.
Right. Vegas says Utah by 9.5 and BYU by 4.5. And that's with the 3-point accommodation for the home team, obviously helping BYU and working against Utah. So the gamblers are right there.
It looks to be that on paper.
Yeah.
Which has been proven wrong many times, but that's the way it looks. And so I would agree with that. I did not know the odds. but I could agree with those odds.
I mean, we got 9 games in the books now. TCU's slightly better at 6-3. Well, they're both 3-3 in the league. TCU's slightly better overall at 6-3. Baylor 5-4. Baylor lost to Auburn. They lost their big game, and TCU beat SMU.
It just seems like Baylor's in a little bit of a
funk
quandary. You know, the athletic director's basically stepping down.
Yeah.
And there's something going on there. And then he had the problem with the tight end that I think a while back. Aranda just seems like he's fighting for his job the last 5 Novembers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's been 5, but it just seems like
No,
that.
it does. It does seem like that.
Yeah.
I bumped into...
Do you have a friend whose daughter went to Baylor?
No.
Oh,
close, though. Bumped into somebody we know whose kid was heavily recruited by Baylor and was leaning towards going there and then changed because Aranda was, the job was in jeopardy. And it seems like that was 3 years ago. So that job in jeopardy
So
thing,
you bumped into Steve Tate 3 years ago? You bumped into him recently?
No, 3 years ago. In line at Cafe Rio. What a Utah experience that was.
Yeah, and I get that. That's uncertainty.
Yeah.
You're supposed to commit to a school and all that,
right.
But that is fantasy land.
I know.
The engineering program and all that stuff.
And Steve played, so he totally understands how it works. And he's like,
I never bought that philosophy.
He's like, my kid likes Aranda. I like Aranda. Everybody likes Aranda, but is he going to be there?
I've seen that TV show.
Which one is that?
Everybody likes Aranda.
It only had a 13-week run. They thought it was going to get canceled. And then they extended it for the rest of the year. Thought it was going to get canceled.
It seems like their program is in flux right now. And then I read last week, last home game, they had less than 40,000, which was the lowest crowd, blah, blah.
Right.
So the fan base is getting fickle.
Yeah.
Oh, we had David Smoke on.
David Smoke said that when he was on, yeah.
Oh, he said that?
He did. The crowd.
He said they're disconnected. He's disconnected right now.
Yeah.
And I read it.
Translated for they're not winning enough.
Yeah, it does. And they moved on to basketball. It's like the U of A in Tucson.
2021, they won 12 games, and then 6 wins, 3 wins, 8 wins, 5 wins. I mean, they're all over the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, hence the disconnection.
And they're probably going to have a new AD.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.